Put your hands where I can see them.
Sorry, but following a lady's lead just isn't my style.
Put them up now.
Bit of advice, try using knives next time. Works better for close encounters.
Leon. Long time no see.
Ada. Not taking any chances, the President of the United States ordered a contingency plan to sterilize Raccoon City. With the whole affair gone public, the United States government issued an indefinite suspension of business decree to Umbrella. Soon its stock prices crashed, and for all intents and purposes, Umbrella was finished.
So, for the past 3 games, you've all been saying, oh, it's up to us to take down Umbrella, but in the end, the fact that the government took away its license to do business and therefore its stock crashing was what did it? That is the most anticlimactic and sad outcome, and yet somehow the most realistic one.
Let that be a lesson to you, Charriii. This is what games are like every time you beg them to be realistic. Even so, Resident Evil, most of the time, is fairly grounded in realism, so something like this isn't really unexpected.
Oh, you crazy American.
That's racist.
So, if I got this right, calling someone American when they're American is racist. I'm beginning to think you don't know what that means.
I never really realized it, but did they just drive a car on a wooden bridge that has chains for railings? That is the most dangerous thing I think I've ever seen in these games.
You serious?
We interrupt Resident Evil 4 to bring you Metal Gear Solid.
Charriii makes a video game reference that isn't a sin in the game cliche.
Guys in intelligence say they have reliable information that Ashley's been sighted somewhere in Europe. Cool, do you know how massive Europe as a continent is? Is the intelligence really that reliable when they can't even give you a country? She's somewhere on Earth.
To be fair, this cult kidnapped the president's daughter. A cult that stealthy would more than likely be well hidden.
Why did he turn that way?
He
He almost did a complete 360.
Charriii points out things on the screen cliche.
Vayan por detrás.
Who are these people?
And why do some of them look just like each other?
So what if they reuse models? Every Resi game does this, even the remakes.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
What?
I know several Resi fans are gonna argue with me on this, but I thought this line was in the so bad it's good territory. Charriii makes a pop culture reference while butchering an iconic song cliche.
Leon, I've been able to get some new info that might help you.
Fill me in.
Apparently, there's a religious cult group involved. They're called the Los Illuminados.
The Illuminated?
The point you think you're making is that the names make no sense in translation, but you don't realize that they're not meant to be translated. By the way, this happens 4 times in this video, and because I don't want to sound like a broken record, I'm just gonna drop 4 sins right now.
Looks like they use toilets. Guess they're at least somewhat civilized. Are they though? Because that's just a urinal. There are women in this village. Where do they go?
1, that's not really a question that needs to be asked. And 2, what was up with your subtitles? They appeared 4 seconds before you even said anything. Some of you might say I'm nitpicking, but this is a bit bigger than just a typo.
Hunnigan, it's Leon. The door's locked. I can't get in.
Didn't they teach you how to pick locks at the academy?
Yeah.
No, she's got a point. Did they not teach you?
It's a self-aware jab at how previous games had you pick locks a lot of the time. You can't take it seriously. Maybe he's just doing it to be funny. Then why am I not laughing?
Leon, you have to find some way or something to get inside.
Well, I mean, there are windows. I can't imagine that after stealing their food, their money, and taking their lives, that busting through a window would be off limits.
Leon doesn't want to go in guns blazing. Sure, he's a badass, but he's not stupid either.
Wait, why do I have to catch Ashley? Wouldn't climbing down the ladder be much safer? Our job is to protect the president's daughter, and we're risking her busting her ass just because it's faster?
Come on, dude. This is a very narrow hallway. How could Leon not catch her?
Oh, sure, you'll bust out through the window, but not in?
Hey, they're in a do-or-die situation right now. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure both of them would rather do than die.
Well, I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics, too.
A real ladies' man, this guy. Might as well just greet a girl by saying nice tits.
Charriii5’s characterization cliche.
Perhaps the young lady might want to introduce herself first before asking someone his name.
Well, and hear me out, maybe you should introduce yourself before you creepily comment on how big a girl's boobs are.
Charriii5’s the same thing twice cliche.
Before asking someone his name.
Her name's Ashley Graham, the president's daughter.
He already knows you're the president's daughter, Ashley. He literally just acknowledged it.
I'm getting really tired of you sinning characters for doing or saying something that's in character for them just because you don't like it. Can you really not accept people for who they are?
Is she... well, you know.
Don't worry. She's cool.
You make it sound like you're selling her pot.
Never mind.
Are you asking if she's already one of Sadler's minions? Because I think it'd be pretty obvious if she was. And no, she's not cool. She's got the parasite too. Why lie about it?
Except she's not entirely infected yet, so right now, she is indeed safe.
Suddenly Code Veronica.
Charriii makes a video game ref.
I have to go back and get it.
Let me come with you.
No, you stay here with Leon. He is better with the ladies, I'm sure.
Well, if by better with the ladies, you mean he fell in love with someone who was just using him, left a young lady to be experimented on by the government, didn't get with someone he escaped a living nightmare from, is told by another to focus on his job, says
This tangent is incredibly stupid. Skip!
You alright?
I'm fine! Leave me alone!
what the hell is your problem? He was just asking you how you were. Why would you run away like that?
She's scared right now. I can't believe I'm about to quote Frozen of all things, but people make bad choices when they're mad or scared or stressed.
Yeah, just run to the wall. That's clearly some sort of trap.
Refer to previous sin.
If you don't need me, then get off my back, old man.
Did you say old man, Mr. Kennedy? It might come as a surprise, but I'm only 20 years old.
So you don't just dress like someone from the 1800s, you age like one too?
And what's your point? I know I said earlier that Resident Evil is mostly grounded in realism, but it does include some out there elements every now and then.
Leon. Long time no see.
Ada. So it is true.
True? About what?
You, working with Wesker.
I see you've been doing your homework.
Okay, so I feel like already there's a lot to unpack in that exchange alone, and mind you, Darkside Chronicles was nowhere near close to being a thing when this game was made. Not to mention I haven't played it, so maybe things are answered there, but how does Leon know who Wesker is? A lot can happen in 6 years, I realize, but was it Chris who told him? Claire, possibly? How did he hear Ada was working with him? How did he hear she was even still alive? Who knew enough about Ada, where she was, and what she was up to be able to tell Leon about it?
First of all, you can't deny information from a prequel just because it didn't exist when the game first released. That's been the case for prequels ever since they were first conceived. It'd be like if you tried to sin A New Hope for not telling you how they got the Death Star plans, even though Rogue One has been a thing for a few years now. Second of all, Darkside Chronicles actually does explain it. In that game, Leon and Krauser killed Dr. Javier, who had gotten a hold of the Veronica virus from Code Veronica. Before sending them out, the government, whom I'm guessing received this information from Chris and Claire, briefed Leon on the events of that game, which involved Wesker as well. As for how he knew about Ada's involvements, like Ada Wong herself, that remains a mystery.
Suddenly hentai.
Charriii says tentacle boner.
Now that I have the sample, you serve me no purpose.
Sadler!
My boy Salazar will make sure you follow the same fate.
Or you could just kill him right now. I mean, you are here, and so is your massive scorpion penis.
First of all, Charriii says boner again. Second, it's actually smarter for Sadler to sick his minions on Leon, especially since Leon kills him when he goes all out.
Ashley, get out of there!
Damn it, woman, that is the exact opposite of get out of here!
The doors are locked and there are ganados coming at her. Where is she going to go?
Where the hell did you get that flashlight?
Her pocket?
What a touching moment we have here.
All spoiled thanks to your interruption. Why don't you do us all a favor and leave before the audience gets pissed off?
Breaking the fourth wall.
Just like the No More Heroes video, people like it when a piece of media breaks the fourth wall. It never has been a sin, and despite your attempts, it never will be.
Wait here.
Wait here? You just got reunited. You're just asking for her to get re-kidnapped at this point.
By who? There are literally no enemies around. Besides, it's a lot better than her going with him, given how dangerous the next room is.
May wrath of evil befall the one who disturbs this holy grail.
Yeah, I'll take that shit.
Well, you kinda have to, since it's a key item.
Scary.
Oh, don't lie. You would have been shaking in your boots if you didn't know the solution.
Suddenly Code Veronica.
Yeah, you said that.
Oh, come on! We just got reunited! Jeez, it's like her only purpose as a character is to get kidnapped. Wait.
Or, and hear me out, Sadler has enough forces to be prepared to get her back? You know, between this and your constant complaining that Lobster kept beating you in the last video, you have the biggest double standards.
Who designed that drawbridge? It doesn't even come halfway down.
That's kind of the point, dude.
How dare you! No more games! Kill him! Kill! Quickly! We shall prepare for the ritual!
Leon, you're alive.
Really? He is? What gave it away? Was it possibly the fact that Salazar was all pissed off asking his henchmen to, and I quote, kill him?
It's called self-reassurance, Charriii. I know you hate Ashley and want her to die a horrible death, but can you at least try to not complain about everything she does?
Need a ride, handsome?
Okay.
A boat ride, you idiot.
He's unsure if he can trust her, not cringing at anything sexual. So you see...
I'm not an idiot. You're the idiot. Idiot.
Women.
That's sexist.
No, it isn't.
And now, Sadler has control of the frequency all of a sudden?
Let me put it this way. Salazar was Sadler's minion, and he hacked Leon's frequency, meaning that, by extension, Sadler would have control as well.
They realize they control this base, right? Amateurs. Why would they think Leon would be watching them through the camera?
Or it could just be a precaution in case Leon did invade the base.
Ashley, I'm right here! Do you not see me taking care of this situation?
It's almost like she's blinded by fear at the moment.
How did Ada even know that we explored all this, know where the waste disposal is, and that we're in the cell with Ashley at this very moment? It's like she waited to toss the paper airplane until the very second we were in here.
It's Ada. She always finds a way. Kinda like Luca.
Are you out of your mind?
I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt.
Yeah, but if her butt landed on that regenerator next to her, you would have had to explain why you thought it would be a good idea to force the president's daughter to jump down a waste disposal vent.
This is another issue I have with you, Charriii. Lots of times you make up scenarios to get sins out of them without realizing that because those scenarios didn't happen, they don't matter.
Speaking of which, how did you not break any bones? That thing you landed on looks like a rusty metal door.
Dude, the fall wasn't that big. Not everyone is Mr. Glass, you know.
God damn it, if she had gotten captured one more time, I would have had to make a bonus round out of it. Why does she always get captured right after we just freed her?
Because Sadler really doesn't want to let her go. After all, she's the main crux of his plan. Kinda like Eggman's plan with Elise in Sonic 06.
Just so we understand each other clearly, I don't trust you, nor does Wesker. If you try to do anything clever, I will kill you.
Is that so? You know, I met Wesker long before you.
We'll see soon enough if you did.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, first off, right of antiquity means nothing when it comes to trust. And second, we'll see soon enough if you did? What do you want, like a receipt of the day they met? Does Wesker trusting you more mean that he met you first? Like...
I can't believe I had to explain this, but what Ada meant was that she's known Wesker longer and forced a greater trust in Krauser. And Krauser said what he said as a threat in case she was lying to him. Granted, this isn't something that is completely obvious, but it is something that you would know if you actually took the time to... what's the right word? Oh yeah, think!
Been a long time, comrade.
Krauser. Wait, you two know each other? This time skip leaves out so much info. Like, the classic games all happen so close to each other. 0 was a couple days before 1, 2 happens 4 months after that, 3 is a few days before, during, and a few days after 2, Code Veronica is 3 months after that, and 4 is a whole 6 years after all those games. It seems like there's a lot more relevant things you could have told us over the course of this story.
Except the whole point of RE4 was to make a Resident Evil that anyone could jump into, so it's not going to tell you that information because it's not supposed to.
I died in a crash 2 years ago. Is that what they told you?
You know, Resident Evil 4 was the first Resident Evil game I ever played, and I always assumed Krauser was a character in another game, kind of like how Ada is, and that him and Leon's history together would make sense once I played the previous games. But this is his first appearance, and they play it up like we're supposed to know the history between these two. Everything from the way he's revealed, to Leon's reaction, to him working with Wesker too, but we don't know who this dude is.
While I admit they do act like we should know about Krauser, even though we don't, it is a surprise to Leon, and that's really what matters. If you want to know more about Krauser, either play Darkside Chronicles or watch a walkthrough online.
You got her involved just for that?
All for Umbrella's sake. Umbrella? Almost let it slip.
No, you pretty much let it slip. We had no idea Wesker was trying to bring Umbrella back until you said the name Umbrella.
I'm sorry, we? I think you mean you. All Krauser said was Umbrella. He didn't mention Wesker's involvement. The only thing Leon knows about Wesker is that Ada's working with him.
You may be able to prolong your life, but it's not like you can escape your inevitable death, is it?
You knew each other?
Honestly, we know just as much about Krauser as we know about you, so I'd say Leon's in love with him.
Charriii sins the same thing twice, cliché.
I have an idea. Since you're here, why don't I introduce you to it? It should keep you busy.
Which one, the 1991, the 2017 one, or the 2019 one? Oh, you're just playing the pronoun game, gotcha.
The pronoun game is used to build suspense. Heck, DT used it in his countdown about rivals in video games. Also, Charriii makes a pop culture reference.
We interrupt Resident Evil 4 to bring you the first Resident Evil movie. Huh.
Bringing up the Resident Evil movies. Anyone who's watched them knows why that's a sin.
Ashley. Dude, what did you think was gonna happen? You practically threw the tracking device in front of Sadler. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't get rid of the bug sooner considering the constant beeping.
To be fair, he didn't have much choice at the moment, plus Sadler had most of his attention on Ashley, and the beeping is pretty quiet.
What is it that you fight for, comrade?
My past, I suppose.
Umbrella.
Is that your answer, or are you just saying Umbrella like a fucking lunatic?
It's his answer.
Also, I'm not quite sure what Leon's answer means. Is he fighting to preserve his past, because of his past, because he wants a part of his past back? What does he mean?
Not even Leon knows what he means. That's why he said, I suppose.
Did you really think I'd trust an American?
That's racist.
That's characterization.
Mike! No, not Mike. He was my favorite character.
Oh, joy. The I don't give a fuck about anyone that dies in a Resi game joke. That's hysterical.
suddenly Ada. And yeah, I know, every time she appears it's pretty sudden, but she's always had a reason to show up. Here, she just shows up.
So, this is simply on our way to our destination. Not everything needs a reason to appear.
Do you know what a percentage is? Because I don't think you do.
Do you know what fiction is? Because I don't think you do.
Something's not right. Ashley, you stay here.
What the f***, Leon? Every time you get Ashley back, and every time you leave her on her own to potentially get recaptured. And honestly, I don't know what's more surprising. The fact that you do that, or the fact that she only gets recaptured when she's with you and not when she's left alone.
Well, it's better than him taking her into the final boss. She wouldn't last 5 seconds.
Better try a new trick, cause that one's getting old.
There's no way that wasn't a lucky shot.
Lucky shot my ass. This is Leon Sexy Kennedy we're talking about. The same guy that did this earlier in the game.
We've prepared a special ritual for you.
The American prevailing is a cliche that only happens in your Hollywood movies.
A character pointing out a cliche. But also, the American does prevail in this, so the American prevailing cliche?
First of all, you can't sin something the game itself recognizes. Second of all, cliches on their own aren't sins. It's how you use them that can make them good or bad. And in this game's case, well, what do I need to say?
Why is Ashley wearing 2 sweaters? Like, yeah, I know the one she's wearing as a top is sleeveless, but the other one's just an accessory, and I'd get it if it was a scarf, but no, that's just straight up another sweater.
Who needs a reason to wear what they want to wear? I can't believe how nitpicky you are sometimes.
Somehow I knew you'd say that, but it doesn't hurt to ask, you know? So, who was that woman anyway?
What woman? I don't think you and Ada ever really met. Were you even fully conscious when she helped save you?
She actually noticed Ada helping him during the final boss, as Separate Ways reveals. I know he has a retort for that, but trust me, we'll get there.
We interrupt Separate Ways to bring you La Femme Nikita.
Charriii makes a pop culture reference that I doubt anyone will even recognize, nor is it a sin in the game cliche.
The whole point of Chapter 2 of this scenario is to go from the house where you saved Leon, to the cabin where he and Luis were tied up, to back to the house to save Leon.
And what's your point?
Nuestro jefe se cuidará de la... Si la plaga es mucho mejor que la nuestra. Tienes razón.
I wish I could translate for you guys, but I honestly can't hear the last parts of their sentences because they mumble and the music overpowers it.
And this is an issue why? You haven't translated for any other ganado despite having a few chances to do so. Why is this suddenly a problem?
Among all the people involved in this, Luis Serra has the least entanglements. He works for no organization, preferring to move on his own. I'm the one who told the organization of his importance. I did it because I like him. His history betrays an enthusiasm I once shared. It was a stroke of luck that I happened to intercept his email for help. It seems he can't trust the police, so he sent the email to an old friend from college. He must have thought his friend was still alive. At any rate, that's how I managed to find him.
Okay, fair enough, but how did you intercept the email? Did you know he was sending one? How would you have done that?
You know, I'm tempted to make you asking questions that aren't answered because they aren't important into a cliche at this point. But since I can't find a way to incorporate that into one sentence that rolls off the tongue, this is what I'm stuck with.
When I told him who I was, he practically begged to be taken into custody.
Wait, so you told him who you were and asked to be taken into custody, presumably because of your contractor, but he doesn't know who you work for? In the very cutscene before this, he doesn't seem to know at all.
Okay, lady. Where do you stand on all of this? Exactly what kind of group are you working for?
All Luis wants is to get away from the Ganados. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter who she's working for, as long as she can get him away from them.
Leon, I'm sorry, but I can't be seen with you.
Huh. My ex-girlfriend said the same thing to me. Miss her every day. Anyway.
Oh hey, ex-girlfriend jokes. Those are always funny.
Just so we understand each other clearly, I don't trust you, nor does Wesker.
Looking at this cutscene again, I really question Krauser's logic on that one. Wesker doesn't trust Ada, but he sent her even though you, another one of his agents, were already there? Doesn't that seem suspicious to you?
Pretty sure he's just saying that as a threat. Plus, that aside, it's not entirely suspicious for an agent to be sent to help another agent.
practically a genius. He has smarts and he knows how to use them. On top of that, his service as a government agent has toughened him up. I'll work behind the scenes to make him think he's the primary player here.
I mean, isn't he? Over the course of the game, he takes on way bigger threats than you do, and he's honestly done more for you than you have for him. And I'm pretty sure the only thing you've actually done for him behind the scenes was ring the church bell. Everything else you do right in front of him.
Is that right? What about her saving him from Chief Mendez? That technically wasn't in front of him.
Of course, his role didn't exist at all until a few months ago. Back then, my role was much simpler too. But that was before the president's daughter was abducted and Leon was dispatched alone to find her.
Yeah, why was Leon sent alone? Like, you'd think that they'd at least dispatch a team of people to rescue someone that was kidnapped and transported to a whole other country, let alone another continent.
My guess is that they want to keep this under wraps. Besides, Leon's more than capable of handling this on his own.
Report. Time is almost up.
Krauser's dead.
Really?
Wait, how do you have a landscape image of Ada when she's holding the phone vertically? And where the hell is your camera?
I want to know how this technology works. What? It's not important. I don't care.
That's a large thing you have there. But I don't like it when men play rough.
Ha! Get it? Okay, I take back what I said in the Bayonetta 2 video. This is the dumbest sex joke he's made yet. And to anyone who unironically finds this funny, get some help.
See, they had to include a scene where Ashley actually sees Ada in this because they realized, oh shit, Ashley probably didn't see Ada the first time, what should we do?
This sin genuinely makes me angry. Charriii acknowledges that this scene debunks a previous sin, yet at the same time refuses to do so because he thinks the developers made a mistake. Even if that was the case, and knowing your track record I highly doubt it, you're basically sinning the developers for realizing their mistake and fixing it? That's so stupid I almost want to smack myself across the face with a frying pan.
Well, that can be arranged.
I said almost.
How the fuck did you see that from all the way over here?
Really good vision.
Ah, boss I can't outrun because he has a dash attack with stupid range that I have to fight in a hallway? What is this, classic Resident Evil? Also, they really like this boss, because it's the one boss you fight in all three scenarios. And don't get me wrong, Krauser's my favorite boss too, but when he's suddenly not dead in separate ways, and doesn't even have a reason to show up in Assignment Ada, you really start to notice that they just wanted to reuse him.
1, Charriii sends something he likes. And 2, so what if they wanted to reuse him? Everyone agrees that Krauser's a good boss, so I don't really see the problem. Hey everyone, Tony Sonic here. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Resident Evil 4 was my first ever Resident Evil game. And to be honest, I see why a lot of people like it. It's really great. But if I'm being honest, it's not my favorite Resident game. It's still really good, I'd say in the top 5, top 3 even, but only is number 3, I think. Number 2 and 1 would probably be RE7 and Village, if I'm being honest. I'll talk about it in the comments if you want to know. With that out of the way, though, I still highly recommend giving this game a purchase if you haven't. Anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video around to your friends, and I'll see you all. Looks like the ghosts are making a ruckus again. Excuse me, I have some things to clean up. DT, get the vac!